watching a global celebration of all things Notre Dame, where we invite you to watch, connect, give, and vote. This is Notre Dame Day, live from the LaFortune Student Center.
Welcome back to Notre Dame Day. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to hour number 2 of Notre Dame Day, a global celebration of the University of Notre Dame. If you're back for our second hour, thank you so much, and we promise that this hour's telecast will not disappoint. My name is Abby Wellner. For the next 2 hours, I will be your co-host for the very first Notre Dame Day celebration. I am here at the LaFortune Student Center on the Notre Dame campus, just a few yards away from the university's main building and its iconic Golden Dome. This will be our broadcast headquarters for the next 28 hours as we celebrate all things Notre Dame with students, parents, friends, and fans around the world, and alumni like myself and my dad, Dr. David Wellner. Hi, Dad, who should be watching from home right now, class of 1974. Coming up this hour, we'll be talking with Notre Dame's Vice President for Student Affairs, Erin Hoffmann about the unique residence life model we have here at Notre Dame. We'll also have a little interview with the inspiring Fighting Irish hockey goalie and Notre Dame senior Joe Rogers. We'll have our residence hall competitions between McGlynn Hall and Welsh Family Hall, and we'll have an interview with former Notre Dame All-American who was ever so popular and wrote the ever so popular tune, Here Come the Irish. I know that anthem has been very, very well known around here for some time. But first, let's check in with one of our Notre Dame reporters, Trisha Hart, who is with my co-host, legendary Notre Dame men's basketball coach, Digger Phelps.
Abby, we're back at Notre Dame Bookstore for...
Looks like you're having fun out there.
Abby, we're back at the Notre Dame Bookstore for the championship men's game for Bookstore Basketball. We're at halftime right now, and Digger Phelps has grabbed 2 players from the teams, and we'll let him take over.
Well, we got this battle going on right now. It's halftime. With me now is Zoe Bauer from Holy Cross, as well as Jeremy Rich, who is from Keenan Hall. And your dad graduated from here many years ago, and he was a part of that student body that upset San Francisco, and Bill Cartwright in the student body was MVP of that game. But when we look at what's going on here, Zoe, what do you guys got to do to win this game?
We got to continue to clog the gaps with guards like Jeremy and be in lob help on their big post presence from Beth Taylor Coblis.
What concerns you about Holy Cross?
Their defense, like you said. We got a little stagnant on offense towards the end of the half, and they were able to go on a little run. We just got to keep the ball moving and put the ball in the bucket.
Being from Florida, how's the weather feel today as you're playing this game?
Same as it's always been for 4 years.
Tell me, what was your worst game? You got to play rain, sleet, or snow to get to the championship game. Tell me, Jeremy, what was your worst game? What were the weather conditions?
Not quite snow, but freezing rain was a pretty tough one. Puddles everywhere. People wearing sweatshirts. First time I've seen people play basketball with sweatshirts on.
How long did the game take? Because you couldn't score.
It took a little bit.
Okay.
Took a little bit longer than we wanted.
All right, tell me, Zoe, what was it?
This year hadn't been too bad. Probably my freshman year, we played in the championship against Mike Brohammer. It was a downpour. There were puddles on the court, and you couldn't bank it because the ball would slide off the board. You couldn't hit the rim. It had to be a swish.
So you're now a junior at Holy Cross. You're from Culver.
Yep.
What's your mission from Holy Cross?
We just like to come over here, play a little ball.
No, I mean your academic.
Oh, my mission, yeah. I'm majoring in business and communications. I'm looking to work in sports.
Okay, and Jeremy, you are a senior. You're pre-dental, and you're taking a year off, but you're eventually going to go to dental school.
Yes, sir. That's the plan.
And you'll probably do a little observation this summer when you're back home to see how it goes in the dentist office?
Plan on doing that along with the poverty clinic back home as well.
Well, I want to congratulate both of you guys for getting to the championship game, and I got to be neutral to see who wins this game. But good luck to both of you in the second half. And as usual, this started back in the early 70s with the old bookstore where campus ministry is today. John Shumate, Dwight Clay, the guys that beat UCLA in 74, they were the original bookstore players, and they played the students, and because basketball players could play, wearing boxing gloves. And that was the first game of bookstore basketball. But the other history, a guy named Tim Bray, who's the sports information director today from Clemson. He graduated in the mid-70s. He's one of the godfathers to put this whole thing together where today we have almost 600 teams plus playing for a bookstore championship. So right now as they're yelling, the fans are yelling, let them play, but they don't realize Digger will decide when they play. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Digger. The heart of the Notre Dame experience has always been the residential tradition, and we're here to talk about that tonight. We're going to welcome our Vice President for Student Affairs, Erin Hoffmann Harding. Erin, thanks so much for joining us, and you have some friends to introduce as well.
I do, Abby. I'm really excited to introduce Jackie Picachi from Howard Hall and Jeff Ulrich from Stanford Hall.
Welcome, everyone, and congratulations. You guys are closing on the last couple of weeks of your senior year. How thrilling for you. And nerve-wracking?
Yeah, definitely nerve-wracking, I guess. This is my second senior year. I'm a fifth-year senior, but exciting once again.
Very well played. I need to talk to you after this. I'm thinking maybe 9 years out. Do you think I could wrangle another year out?
Oh, yeah.
All right, good to know.
I mean, this is my first time around, but I'm excited and nervous at the same time. Everybody's telling me to just take it all in, but it's happening so fast.
It happens fast, and then 10 years from now, you're going to wonder where the last 10 years went. It is incredible how it all flies by, and you can certainly speak to that. And Erin, you know this residence life very well, not just from your current position, but from a student here. You tell us a little bit about your experience. What dorm were you in?
Yeah, I'm a 97 grad, Abby, and I lived in Siegfried Hall, which to our current students is going to sound very strange.
It does sound strange. I'm going to say you have a little bit of explaining to do
I
on
do.
that one.
It's a men's hall these days, and I was in the last graduating class in 1997 when they closed Flanner and Grace Halls. And then we moved all over from Siegfried. After I left, they moved to Welsh Fam.
All right, now you just walk by there and you have an interesting story to tell. And what do you think it is that makes residence life here at Notre Dame so interesting and so different and so special?
I firmly believe it's one of our most distinctive advantages. What we really measure success on is sense of community, and that really goes from everything from the people in the hall, of which our RAs are such a huge and central part. They have, in most cases, lived in their hall for 3 years before they serve it. And so it's really a place where you're known individually and by name.
It really is. I know I was an RA my senior year in Breen Phillips, so I know exactly where you guys are sitting right now. Again, don't quite get the fifth year part. Still so jealous and will be for the rest of the evening here. But you guys have had an amazing experience, I'm guessing. Tell me a little bit about what it's been like spending all 4 years in one place.
I guess I'll start. And so tonight so I'm from Howard Hall, and we had our end of the year banquet, and it was so great to talk about all of the seniors who moved off campus and came back, and the community that we built as a class. So Erin talked about it and how community is so important. And Howard's really small. We only have about 150 girls. And so to know that I'm friends with all of them and know all of them by name is just a really special thing that I don't think a lot of other places have.
I have to agree with that. And there are also some really amazing traditions that we all get to, I'm flashing back to my time here right now, but we have all participated in some amazing residence life traditions here at Notre Dame. Tell me a little bit, Jeff, you had one this weekend.
Yeah, so this weekend there are a couple big events. Muddy Sunday, led by Keenan Hall, and the Fisher Regatta, led by Fisher Hall. I actually wasn't in the regatta this year, but when I was in Knott Hall for 4 years undergrad, I got to be in 2 of the winning boats and on a 20-foot-long surfboard. So I love the Fisher Regatta. The only problem is when your boat doesn't make it and you're swimming in 45-degree water.
And that just gives you a story to tell years later.
That's true.
That one you'll tell your kids someday, no worries. All right, Erin, what was your favorite part about living here on campus?
You know, actually the building we're in, Abby, is one of the things I remember most. So I loved living in Siegfried. I was an accompanist in our hall mass choir. But I spent a lot of time here in La Fortune as a student leader here, and so there were so many nights that I was walking back after midnight, after quarter dogs, and studying with some of my closest friends, and just headed back to the hall with friends. And so I think it's the beauty of campus late at night that I always go back to and think of, which is really the lights on, and you knew the people when you were walking in those halls and coming home.
It's such an amazing feeling, and walking back on campus, so many people have said welcome home to me the last couple of days, and it's been such a wonderful experience to have, because it really does. It will always feel like coming home. So you have that to look forward to, and years of weddings and celebrations down the road. It'll be a really exciting time. I'm very envious of what you have ahead. And you were talking about quarter dogs. It was my sophomore year they opened the Starbucks here. I don't know if anyone remembers, if you remember life before the Starbucks here, but my flex points were shot like the day it opened. It was a real shame. All right, and so you said you have a background in music here.
I do.
All right, tell us a little bit about your experience.
Oh, sure. I actually sang in the liturgical choir while I was here as well, which is one of our campus ministry choirs. And so every 10 a.m. Mass at the Basilica, got to be up in the loft, which was such a special experience, and actually was responsible for my first trip abroad. When I was a student here, we went to Rome, and we had a chance to sing then for Pope John Paul in St. Peter's Basilica, which was pretty amazing. So just outside of the classroom, inside of the classroom, I just had such an extraordinary experience as a student here. So in many ways, being in student affairs is a way for me to give back.
And those friends you met in the dorm, are you still in touch with them?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There and in my different student organizations, they really do stay with you forever. I am the godmother of one of my closest friends' daughters, and so it never leaves you, which is, I think, one of the most beautiful parts about a Notre Dame education.
I know that the email circle that my friends and I had going when we were undergrads here, the 9 of us who lived on one hall in Breen Phillips our freshman year, that email chain is still going. So we're all very fortunate to be able to keep those friendships alive because they do become your family. I don't have any sisters, but that God gave me, but he bestowed upon me several while I was here, which I'm very fortunate for. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. And Jackie and Jeff, good luck to you. You have such an exciting couple of weeks ahead and many, many exciting years and great opportunities to return to campus. Are you going to crank out a 6th year?
I'm hoping to.
All right.
I haven't signed my contract yet.
Well, keep us posted on that. Thank you guys so much. And we're going to head back outside now to our reporter, Justine Ward. She has a very special guest. Actually, we're not going outside. We are going to our desk. Justine has a special guest on the hotline. Justine.
All right. Thank you so much, Abby. I am indeed joined by someone very special, a former Notre Dame All-American football player who played 10 years in the NFL, but surprisingly, he's best known by Notre Dame fans for the song he wrote, a little tune called Here Come the Irish. Joining us now on the Notre Dame phone lines is John Scully. John, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Justine. It's a pleasure to be here.
How you doing, John?
I'm doing very well, and I should probably start by development told me that you came in from California at your own expense to help out with the broadcast, and I hope people recognize that and appreciate you.
Oh, well, thank you so much, John. I did fly in from LA, but I wouldn't miss this for the world. So let's get started here. You're an All-American here at Notre Dame. You played 10 years in the NFL, most of them as a starter for the Atlanta Falcons. Yet your claim to fame is writing this amazing song that still lives on here at Notre Dame.
Yeah, go figure. You know, you can never, I don't think you can ever really determine how you're going to be known, and this is one of those circumstances, I suppose. You know, and in truth, you know, there's just been so many great football players better than I that came before, during, and after my tenure there. So I was just happy to be in the mix as much as I was, and to be known for it or not, it was a lot of fun.
All right. And I understand you come from quite a large Notre Dame family. My dad's a Notre Dame alum. Talk to me about your family and why Notre Dame was the right school for you.
Well, I'll just start listing a few people. I had an older brother at Notre Dame who was a year ahead of me, who was actually pre-med. He's now a cardiologist. My wife's brother, Tom Thayer, was an underclassman of mine, and he went on to play. He started for the Bears in the Super Bowl in the mid-'80s. Both my brother and I put all our kids through here. So my two daughters, Britt and Annie, and he just has his last of 5. Brian Scully is just finishing up this year. So we've had quite a few Scullys coming and going on and off campus.
What a legacy. Where do you call home these days, John?
We're in Joliet, Illinois, which is where the Thayers are from. So
Okay.
You came from California. I'm only 100 miles down I-80, and I couldn't make it over to campus.
Oh, I did come from LA. I'm from St. Louis originally, but my whole family is in Chicago, and they're huge Notre Dame fans. So I know what you mean when you say that Notre Dame is really, you're just born with it in your blood. But I got a question for you. When did the music come in? When did you realize you had a talent for music? Did you study it here?
I did. Well, first, my 5 siblings and I were kind of forced at gunpoint to take piano lessons when we were growing up. And so I've been playing piano since I was about, I think, 7 or 8 or so. But started getting more interesting for me in high school when I started playing by ear, and then I got to Notre Dame and started taking some theory courses from a guy who I believe, if he's not still on campus, just recently retired, Ethan Hamo, over at Crowley Hall. And and the theory courses were very useful to what I did afterward.
And then you played in the pros for a while, and then now you wrote for business of writing jingles for TV and radio ads. How did you get into something like that? It seems like a dream job many people would like to have. And what were some of your clients?
Well, first of all, I rode into that business on the coattails of my co-writer on Here Come the Irish, a guy named Jim Tullio, who's been doing this stuff and still is doing this stuff for all his life. And Jim was very heavily entrenched in the national jingle scene and also the recording industry. He's worked with artists like Richie Havens, Dave Mason, more recently Los Lonely Boys. They just did a project with Billy Corgan last year. So Jim is the guy as far as the business is concerned. I was fortunate enough to add enough to what he did to help him in the world of jingles and in the world of side projects in the studio.
All right, John. Well, I know I speak for millions of Notre Dame fans when I say thank you so much for writing this incredible song that will certainly live on in the Notre Dame legacy. Thank you again for joining us here on this live celebration of ND Day. And now we're going to go out to Coach Digger Phelps, who is live in our studio. And I understand you're with an outstanding student athlete, Joe Rogers, goalie for the Fighting Irish hockey team and a Notre Dame senior. Digger.
Well, not just outstanding music, as we all know how great that song is, especially in the stadium or on the basketball court, but I'm with another outstanding, more than a student athlete, Mr. Joe Rogers, who happens to be a goalie on our hockey team. But you talk about living with no fear. Joe, you were born with no right hand. And all of a sudden, here it is, you're a goalie on the hockey team. How small were you? And obviously running around, crawling, you had no fear as soon as you were born. Let's go for it.
Well, you know, I was really fortunate. My parents and my entire family were so supportive from day one. You know, from the moment I was born, my parents never saw me as different. They were in the hospital room, and one of the nurses said that, "Oh, we have a problem." And my dad looked, did a quick check over, and didn't notice anything. And then did another one after they said, "No, look at his hand." And from that point on, it was kind of the attitude. My parents never saw me as different. They didn't even notice that anything was wrong.
So here you are, a little kid growing up, crawling around. You got guys in the neighborhood. You're playing sports, playing games, and trying to be one of the guys that can participate. How did you get the bug for hockey?
Hockey runs deep in my veins. You know, my dad played and his brothers played. My grandpa coached. My great-grandfather would always plow the river in his backyard for the kids to skate. So it was just meant that I was going to be a hockey player.
All right, so then all of a sudden you decide you want to be a goalie. So you brought your glove. Show me how you wear this glove on your right hand, and obviously you're doing something else with that left hand.
Sure, yeah. So I have a special glove designed by Vaughn Custom Goalie Hockey Manufacturer. Yeah. And basically inside they just have an extra strap placed.
They go around your wrist.
Goes around my wrist. I'm able to tighten it down, tighten this one, and then the rest is the same as any other glove. And I just lace it up.
And you're ready.
Good to go. Ready to go.
And there's something in your left hand. What is that? Besides this microphone?
Yeah, you know, there's a big blocker glove and holding a stick.
And that just puts you in a position to defend the goal.
It sure does.
You also got to know some guy named Jim Abbott, a baseball player,
yes,
who had one arm.
I did. Coincidentally, Jim grew up down the road from me. We're both Michiganders, and from a young age, I had baseball cards of Jim. My parents got them, and I looked to him for inspiration. Growing up, I was able to actually meet Jim, and we've become good friends over the years. And he's been very instrumental in telling me that you can do anything you set your mind to.
How old were you when you met him?
I was 16 when I met him.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you playing hockey then?
I was still playing hockey.
Wow.
I was. Yep.
And then he gave you that spark to light the fire, like, okay.
Yeah,
bring it on.
Even before that, I had always been watching him and seeing the good things he'd done, and he had inspired me. And then I was finally able to meet him at 16, and it really just, I knew I was going after something that was worth it.
Why did you pick Notre Dame?
You know, I was looking for a place to combine academics, athletics, and tradition, and Notre Dame just fit the bill.
So there must be some great scrimmages when, as you guys go at it head-to-head, there's no handicap when you're playing.
No.
And they go at it.
Yeah, we definitely go at it, and you know, it's one of the cool things. I've been able to just play and be who I am, and I get some surprised faces after the game sometimes when I take off my glove and shake hands after the game.
What's it been like for you for 4 years here as a student, knowing that, okay, yeah, you're a hockey player, but that's not the main reason why I'm at Notre Dame?
You know, it's been an incredible experience, and I came pursuing the goal of playing Division I sport, and beyond that, you know, there's such an incredible family and community here at Notre Dame, and that is probably the biggest part. That I've loved it so much and had a great time, and it's just been an incredible experience for 4 years.
I got to read this because you were a nominee for the Mellon Wealth Management Hockey Humanitarian Award for community service.
That's correct.
Okay. What was the community service that you did while you're here at Notre Dame?
There's been several projects that we've been a part of with the hockey team. This year I was fortunate enough to head up a big project for a group called Hockey Saves. It's a group that allows military members to get on the ice and have some ice time of, they call it Nothing Else Matters, and it's just a way to relieve some stress. And so through the year, we kind of raised awareness for them, and we wore custom jerseys that had Notre Dame leprechaun wearing camo fatigues. And after the weekend, we were able to auction them off. And we had a very good turnout. We brought some of the soldiers up from Fort Benning, Georgia, who were able to be here and experience Notre Dame for the weekend.
Did they get fired up about being the Fighting Irish?
They sure did.
Good.
They had an awesome time.
Now that you're going to graduate in a couple of weeks, I understand you may be heading east to New York City to do something?
That's correct. For the first time in my life, I'll be leaving the Midwest.
Wow.
And heading to New York City. I'll be starting my career on Wall Street in July.
Wall Street in July, which means money, money, money. No.
No.
All right, let me throw this at you. You do Wall Street for, say, 3 or 4 years. Then are you thinking about an MBA?
That depends.
Well, you get the company to pay for it.
Yeah,
But then you
that's
say,
true.
you pay for me to get an MBA, I'll come back and give you 5 years, just like a ROTC military scholarship, right? But the more important thing is, with that MBA and what you learn on Wall Street, now I'm assuming that by the time you're 30, because I put life in decades, your first 2 decades you get a credential, 20 to 30 you go after it, make that dream become a reality, and from 30 to 50 you're going to make it happen. I'm assuming by the time you're 30, aren't you looking to become the president of some organization to take from what you've learned from team sports and leadership into the game of life?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of my long-term goals are to start my own company and be able to take some of the skills I learned here at Notre Dame, leadership and camaraderie, and be able to build something great and give back.
Having what you've been through in your life, obviously at your age now, there's no fear, and there's no such thing as a handicap. What advice can you give to people out there today, no matter what their handicap is, how can you still believe in yourself and go out and win in the game of life?
Well, you know, I like to live by 3 things. You know, one is embrace who you are. The second is always follow your dreams. And the third is to never give up. No matter what life throws at you, there's ups and downs, and it's just how you keep moving forward. And everyone has their struggle, but what makes you a great person is how you fight through that.
Well, Joe, I am going to shake that right hand because I really admire and respect what you've done, and you've got to understand this. This is what Notre Dame's all about. This is the real Notre Dame. When we look at our buddy Joe, who obviously is one in the game of life, and is going to win on Wall Street and become a legend behind the scenes with that name of Notre Dame behind his credentials. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Back to you.
All right, here we go, guys.
Thanks, Abby. We're here on the North Quad for the first round of Notre Dame Day tug of war between 2 other rival residence halls, McGlynn and Welsh Family Hall. On my right, we have Welsh Family representing part of West Quad. And then on my left side, we have McGlynn Hall, which I have to say, I lived there for 4 years of my undergraduate experience. They are fired up for today's competition. Now, just a reminder, each team can have no more than 8 team members on their side of the rope, and they'll have no more than 3 minutes to show off who has the superior strength. So and to make things more interesting, they're competing for $1,000 of cash prizes in this hour. So let's kick things off with the first competition. All right, guys, I'm going to say go, and you guys can start. All right, ready, set, go. We're at a bit of a stalemate. Notre Dame's taking a bit of a lead. No one's really taken over any major feat of strength yet. The red line is teetering over towards Welsh family's side right now. Welsh fam is gaining some footage. They're gaining. McGlynn is putting up a good fight here, but Welsh fam is gaining inch after inch. Welsh family continues to gain. Can McGlynn make up all this lost footage? They just have one or two more feet to pull back, and Welsh fam will clinch it, and that's it. We have Welsh Family Hall is our winner for today's competition. All right, girls, let's have some celebration. All right, I'm here with Mary Kate. Mary Kate, does it feel good to win? You're a little out of breath. I'll let you catch your breath for a second.
Tired, yeah. No, it was awesome. We started out kind of slow, but made up for it in the middle and then, so it was good.
Did you have a hard time finding girls that were willing to show off, their brawn today?
No problem at all. We kind of did a sign-up thing in Welsh Fam, and a lot of girls signed up and came out, so it was awesome.
Now, I lived in McGlynn, so this is a heated rivalry. Have you guys been competing throughout this year with other events?
Yeah, Dillon had their first Dillon Hall Pro Day. It was Welsh Fam versus McGlynn, and Welsh Fam won.
So Welsh Fam is now 2 for 2. Now you have another competition going to go on inside. Is there any strategy overarching for your competitions?
We chose tour guides who hopefully know their Notre Dame trivia.
Notre Dame trivia. And then how did you pick this team? Was there any tryouts? Did you have to, do some push-ups, see who is stronger?
We just have faith that everyone in Welsh Fam, they're good athletes, so whoever came out was good to go.
Now, in terms of inter-hall competitions this year, how has the Welsh family been doing?
Tennis today.
We just finished first place in inter-hall tennis. We made playoffs in soccer and football, so we've been doing pretty well.
Yeah.
All right, so clearly Welsh family will send it back inside for round 2 of the competition. We'll see who will take the ultimate win today. Abby?
All right, thanks so much, Tricia. Now we're going to continue the competition between McGlynn Hall and Welsh Family Hall with a different game. We have teams from both halls here tonight. Welsh Fam is joining us first. Good evening, ladies. All right, give us your Notre Dame introductions. Tell us where you're from, what your major is, all that good stuff. We'll start over there.
I'm Bridget Prusen. I'm from Munster, Indiana. I'm a freshman in Welsh Family Hall, and I'm majoring in international economics and Arabic.
Okay, have you changed your major yet?
3 times.
I've changed mine a total of 7, so you're in good company. All right, and how about you? Give us your introduction.
Hi, I'm Sophie Manley. I'm a sophomore in Welsh Family Hall. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I'm majoring in environmental engineering.
All right, well, terrific. And have you changed your major yet?
I haven't, actually.
Bravo. Well, your parents may be the ones who lucked out on this. Congratulate them for us. I think we've got some cheer group coming in right now. And I was a BP girl, so I technically don't have a dog in this fight. However, my sister-in-law is a Welsh Fam grad. So do it proud, and we're going to let you guys go ahead and get started. All right.
Okay, it's where the swimming and basketball is.
The Jack.
No, it starts with no, okay, yeah. Miley Cyrus, Hannah, what's her last name? Hannah.
Montana?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Montana.
Yeah. Okay, it's a women's hall, and their mascot's the Ducks.
Howard.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. It's our mascot, Notre Dame's mascot.
Leprechaun.
Yeah. It's a dorm. It's not PETA, but the other one.
PE.
Yeah. He's a Heisman winner, but
Angelo
not
Bertelli,
a different
Tim
one.
Brown.
A different one. Okay, no, skip.
Oh,
Skip. No, you won't know. It's fine. Skip. He was a football player. You won't skip. We didn't. Skip. Okay, not North Quad, but
South Quad.
Yeah. Basketball player, really good.
All right, time's up. Nice job, ladies. Okay, whenever the final thing is tallied, give us what it tells you, but we're going to have to subtract 2. We were paying attention. And that was the most interesting Joe Montana hint I've ever heard. So nicely played. 6, all right, so 6 absent 2. We're going to go with 4. My math skills aren't great, but I think they can take me that far. All right, ladies, thanks so much. We've got another team coming in. So we'll let you guys take your evening back, and we'll see if the next group can beat 4. All right, I believe we have 2 Megans, which makes it very easy for me. Too many names to remember. I really like it that you both came in with the same one. Thank you. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. We'll do introductions first.
I'm Megan Thedwell. I'm from Indianapolis, and my major is chemical engineering. I'm a junior.
Junior in chemical engineering. All right.
And I'm Megan McEwen. I'm a sophomore from Detroit, and I'm studying English and French.
Okay, and what year are you in school?
Sophomore.
Sophomore, so a couple more years ahead. Will you be studying abroad at all?
Yeah, Paris next spring.
Paris next spring, take me with you. My bags will be packed by the end of the evening. Thank you so much. All right, and you ladies are McGlynn Hall, correct?
Yes.
Okay, are you ready? We'll let you get this fired up. 4 is the number to beat, I believe, from Welsh Fam. Okay, get ready, get set, and 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so this is the place where you work out that's not Rolf is named after him.
The Rock.
Well, okay.
The Rockany Memorial, sorry.
Okay, he played on the football team last year. He's got a brother who also plays on the football team. His father is on a show on ESPN called Mike and Mike in the Morning. Okay. This hall is next to Stanford. It's a men's dorm.
Keenan.
Yeah. Our hall.
McGlynn.
Skip. Oh, he's the most recent Heisman winner.
Brown.
Mm-hmm. Played the Gipper.
Ronald Reagan.
This is a girls' dorm on South Quad, not Howard.
Baden.
Skip. This isn't Dillon, but it's next to it.
Alumni.
Right next to us, our brother dorm.
O'Neill.
Yes,
you
it was.
got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Nicely done. All right, while we're waiting for the votes to be tallied, you're 7, all right, so we don't even have to wait for a judge's ruling on Newt Rockney. I wasn't sure.
But you said The Rock.
The Rock, so close. All right, behind us here, let's hear it for McGlynn Hall. Those are our champs. And how about Welsh Fam? Do we have some representation in the house from Welsh Fam? All right, thanks so much, ladies, and all of you ladies for joining us this evening. Before we wrap up our telecast this hour, we're going to check in with reporter Justine Ward at Notre Dame Day's Social Media Command Center. Justine, what's happening where you are?
That's right, Abby. I'm here live in the Social Media Command Center where we have a whole team of people holding down the fort for all of you on social media, giving us shout-outs. We have Joe Rogers from ND Hockey fresh off set with Digger Phelps. He's going to be answering your questions next. And so I'm going to hand it off to you, Mark. We have Jonathan, you, Sarah. You're going to tell us what's new this hour.
Great. Thank you, Justine. So first and foremost, thank you everybody who's participated in Notre Dame Day so far. As Justine mentioned, we've got Joe Rogers. He's going to be answering your questions on Twitter in a few moments once we're off the air here. So get ready for that. Start sending them in with the hashtag ND Day, and we'll try to get everybody's questions answered right away. Now, as we start to go in and look at what's going on right now, I'd like to walk you through again how you go on and vote so your favorite areas of Notre Dame get a part of their $250,000 in challenge funds. So hit up NotreDameDay.nd.edu. Click on the big green Give and Vote button. Once you do so and you make your gift, you'll get 3 voting options. For example, if you wanted to get involved in the Dorm and Residence Hall Challenge, you could pick Student Life, Residential Communities, and then pick the residence hall for which you want to vote. There's lots of options in here. You can use athletics, academic units, centers and institutes, international. Check it out. Vote for your favorite areas of interest. And now I'm going to pass it on to Jonathan, who's going to walk you through what's going on in social media this hour.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Joe, for joining us. Hi, everybody. Thanks again for everybody who's participating here with Notre Dame Day. Thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast. I can tell you right now, we've had a lot of members of the Notre Dame family. They're tweeting us. They're hitting us up on Facebook. We had a huge response with Natalie Achonwa and Jewel Lloyd last hour with their live chat. We know we're going to have a big one for Joe this hour as well. We had, let me see here. Gosh. There we go. Natalie Achonwa's already, tweeting out how much she enjoyed being a part of this. Our social ambassadors, we have over 1,000 social ambassadors. You can see they're all over the world. Obviously a lot of play in the Chicagoland area, and New York area. Thank you guys all for participating, for watching us here in the broadcast. And yeah, we're going to be here all night long. We appreciate your guys' votes. There's plenty of time still yet to vote for this hour in some of our Residence Hall challenges. And Sarah's going to tell us a little bit more about that.
Let's look at the leaderboard. So our total gift count, we've got 615, and the total amount raised, 307,514. So let's get excited about that. Woohoo! And then how about that Residence Hall challenge? Currently, we have McGlynn versus Welsh Fam. Welsh Fam has the slight lead. And then last hour, we had Dillon versus Alumni, and Dillon won that voting challenge last hour. Also, we've got some action with the clubs. Right now, we've got San Jose, Silicon Valley. They have a 1-vote lead. And I'd just like to give a shout out to all of our viewers around the world. We have Chile, Thailand, Germany, India, Panama, Canada, the UK, and Ecuador. So what's coming up in the next hour?
All right. Thank you, Sarah. And thank you, all of you, for hashtagging and watching. So let's take a look as the celebrations continue here live at the University of Notre Dame. Next hour, I'm going to be coming to you live from the Notre Dame locker room with a few familiar people you might know from the 2013 Fighting Irish football team. We have Tommy Reese, Chris Watt, and Zach Martin. We're going to be talking with them, and we're going to talk to them about their upcoming NFL draft preparations. We also are going to be talking to national champions, the Notre Dame men's soccer team. We're also going to kick it back over to the men for their Alumni Hall challenges. It's going to be a South Quad face-off between Morrissey Manor and Fisher Hall. Should be epic. And again, we're going to continue the live performances here with a performance on our Notre Dame performance stage. And we're also going to be talking to Notre Dame legend and superstar Ruth Riley. So make sure you keep your browsers here at NotreDameDay.nd.edu. It's all going to continue. We'll see you back here live at the top of next hour. Stay tuned.